I just wanted to briefly explain to you, I don't know if you got to watch the videos on oxidative stress and the studies with Dr. Joe McCord, but the simplest way I can explain it to you is our cells break down as we age, everybody, no matter what, right? As we get older, it's a rapid progression. So every single disease process and dysfunction in the body is related to inflammation and this oxidative stress, this damage to the cells. When you activate your nrf2 pathway, you are using your own God-given DNA to do this in a much more efficient way. So you're receiving approximately half in the beginning, and then by the 120th day, 70% less oxidative stress than everyone else. That is a huge deal, right? Because we know that dogs have 7 times more oxidative stress than we have. Why they die 7 times faster. That's how we have that numerical calculation, right? They've studied this. It's been quantified in a lab. They have dog years to human years. So when we cut our oxidative stress in half, we automatically live longer. It's one of the 28 studies. It's proven that it extends life in every mammal, right? So when I say it's the most important thing anyone can put in their body, that is facts. That's just 100% the most important thing, which is why Washington State University did say in their last study that it is the greatest breakthrough in the history of medicine. The history of medicine and into the foreseeable future is nrf2 activation. And I will find that screenshot and send it to you if I haven't already. So anyway, this is really important. Every disease process is linked to this. Doesn't matter what you have going on. It can even be taken with chemotherapy. When we do nothing, that's how we sit around and wait for our bodies to fall apart. That's how we sit around and every cell, tissue, organ, and organ system is affected. Every cell goes to every tissue, goes to every organ, goes to every organ system, right? So, right, we can halt the progression of this happening. We can have the body work on itself in a powerful way. We can have this damage that the body is constantly trying to fight and keep you healthy and keep you alive and keep in charge of all of the amazing things that it has to do. This is the most important thing that anyone can do. So that's your nrf2. For you, you absolutely, no matter what, need to be on nrf1 and nrf2. You really should be on also NAD, but you really should start with nrf1 and nrf2. I just did my best to explain nrf2 to you. Now, I do recommend watching videos because you can hear other doctors talk about it and see it. It's more visual, right? Looking at the cell, looking at the studies, the graphs, whatever. I know people don't want to take time to watch this stuff, but it's really important. So there's a couple videos I can send them to you. I don't want to overwhelm you, but I don't want you, getting the wrong information. Like go and listen to these doctors, you know what I mean? And see what they're saying. Montel Williams is also a huge advocate for LifeVan, and she's had MS since the 90s, and he's doing really well with cellular activation, myself included, right? So that's nrf2. nrf1 is your mitochondrial pathway of aging. That is your mitochondria, which you sure remember from school is the powerhouse of the cell. Well, what we know about mitochondria is it's not just, one little mitochondria per cell. And we're not just like, a few cells. We're made up of 37 trillion cells, and each cell has roughly 2,000 mitochondria per cell. If something doesn't have energy, how can it work? When your cell phone starts to die because it's losing power, the energy source is shutting down. Sometimes you get a screen with a little message that says, low power mode, 20%. You click on that. And then what happens to your phone? Certain things start shutting down. It's not prioritizing, I'm creating this Facebook video or I'm going to do a jigsaw puzzle. It's like, no, I'm going to use my phone for a GPS or making a call or whatever. In your body, that's like, I'm keeping the heart pumping. I'm keeping them like basically alive. But there's not enough energy for the cell to do what it's supposed to do biologically. God created this way. Each cell has a job. If it doesn't have the energy to do that job, how are you going to do that job? So I don't want to overwhelm you. Like I said, I know this is a lot of science. Some people want to know the science. Some people don't care. Some people are like, oh, just tell me what to take. But I also want them to know why they're taking it and to keep in mind, like, why you're doing it, right? We always drink water every day, right? Because we know water is good for us and we need it to live. Well, when you understand the science of how our bodies break down, if you can activate your oxidative stress pathway and age at half, yes, sign me up. Mitochondria. If your cells don't have the energy to do their jobs, then you're going to have a lot of problems. So you need to activate your mitochondrial pathway. This is huge. And together, they can do wonderful things. So you need to activate your nrf1 and you need to activate your nrf2. That's why I sent you two different links, carts, right? So the first one, I know it's more expensive. Fortunately, the good news and the bad news with healthcare is you get what you pay for and you get what you pay for. And unfortunately, we pay for our health no matter what. We pay for it one way or another, in some time or another. We pay for it. The reason why I gave you that other option is because actually it's a really good deal. And the more stuff you get, it's kind of like a reduction in price. Well, it's $103 for the dual synergizer, which is your nrf1 and your nrf2. $103, and it comes out to like $109. For $180, you get your nrf1, your nrf2, but you have your probiotic and your fish oil. These are the 4 pillars of health, right? It's hard. It's like picking who's your favorite child, right? Like, what's your favorite ice cream? Like, you're like, oh, it's like so hard to choose because each time you take one off the table, you're taking something powerful away from the body that it needs. The basics of all health is these 4 pillars of health, gut function. And that's why I asked about your gut. If your gut is not healthy, you can't digest and process these supplements. If your gut isn't healthy, that's where 85% of your immune system comes from. Your neurotoxins, everything, right? Neurotransmitters, your gut-brain connection. So this is really important because that drives a lot of hormones and all these other things to the body. That your digestive system is like been referred to as a second brain because it's so insane and so innate and complex. You got to have good digestion, and that starts with a good probiotic. You can spend a lot of money at the health food store, Target, wherever, buying a probiotic that doesn't even get into the lower intestine. I really like theirs because it actually has like a 10-hour time release, and it can get into the flora of the lower intestine, which is very important. So I can't emphasize that, enough. That is the best recommendation I can give to anyone. And fish oil is very important. We have to have healthy fats, right? And that's like what our brain is made out of. That's for our cardiovascular system. And not to mention, nrf2 is huge in preventing heart disease and Alzheimer's. It's incredible. When you research this stuff, you will only be blown away. I mean, I've been doing it for 5 years, and I got to go with them to New Orleans with the healthcare professionals. And I'm so in love with the science because I've lost people at young ages to stupid things, really, truly. And that's just ridiculous. We have to take charge of every moment in the cell. That's how people go from being fine to not fine. You see it. We take our health for granted. We're busy. Oh, I don't want to spend the money. I don't want to spend the time, whatever, until it's too late. And then people wish they could do anything to fix that. Millionaires, billionaires would give anything. They would travel the world or whatever. Our health is our greatest gift and blessing. We have to protect it. Each day in our cell, we know what it's prone to. We know what happens when it breaks down. This is just what happens. This is how disease forms. We can't just sit around and pray and hope that our aging is fine, that our cells are fine because, I eat a salad a couple days a week or whatever, That's not going to cut it. Going to the chiropractor every day isn't even going to cut it. You got to get in the cell. It's the only way. And when you do that, your body can function like nobody's business. I'm truly blown away. And I'm forever grateful for Dr. Joe McCord for his life's work, because this is health. So when we are doing this, we are thriving and winning in the health world, right? Because you can eat perfectly all the time. You could go to the gym every single day and be an Olympic athlete. That doesn't mean anything. Those people still get sick. Those people still die. Life-changing things can happen to those people, right? So knowing what we know at the very basics is when we activate these cellular pathways, we have an abundance of health at our fingertips. The body can do what it's designed to do. It's very complicated. I'm sorry, I did my best to explain it to you. I really want people to understand this because it's my heart to help people be healthy. Before I got sick with Lyme disease, before I became a chiropractor, now it's like cemented into me. Like, this is my mission. Like, I'm the messenger. People can make whatever decision they want, but they can also spend the rest of their life chasing around the healthcare system, treating symptoms and never getting to the root cause of the disease and inflammation going on inside of their bodies. It's sad and it's terrible and it's expensive physically and emotionally, right? We don't want to just live, right? We want to add life to our years and years to our life. Like, this is important. The time we have with our family and the quality is everything, right? So I hope that makes sense. When I got Lyme disease and I heard one of my friends got better, that's how I learned about nrf1 and nrf2. I had a long conversation with my friend on the phone. I just begged her, like, please just tell me what you did. Please, I was so miserable. I had tried so many other things, spent so much more money, went to so many other doctors. And she was like, oh, you have to take nrf1 and nrf2. I just wrote it down and I kept taking notes for an hour on the phone. And I was like, what is that? I got off the phone with her and I'm like, I was embarrassed. I didn't want to say anything because I'm like, I'm a chiropractor. I should know what that is. Well, I had remembered a friend of mine using it in her clinic and I had seen it briefly and I was like, what is this stuff? You know, I thought, oh, I would have heard about it by now. And then I finally learned about it. Once I started getting better, I was like, oh my gosh, what if it's that stuff? And then I remembered, and then I contacted my friend. I'm like, tell me everything I want to know, because my brain was so fogged and I was so sick. I couldn't even begin to understand. I couldn't have this conversation with you right now. That's how sick I was. So I know this is a lot of videos. You're going to be like, why did she just send me? But I had a quick minute and I've been wanting to get back to you. So I just want to encourage you. So I hope that makes sense. It's a good thing and it really is a blessing. So I hope you have a great day and just call me or text me. I love helping people with this stuff. It's truly amazing and it's my honor. So I hope you have a great day and I will talk to you soon.